Welcome to Game Week 14 of the Fish Sports Marble Race Premier League. If you're new here, welcome along. Thank you for joining. Please smash that subscribe button and that like button. We're here for the whole season of these. If you're back for more, thank you for coming back. Anyway, this week we have for you Ipswich Town versus Crystal Palace, Leicester versus West Ham, Everton versus Wolves, Manchester City versus Nottingham Forest, Newcastle United versus Liverpool, Southampton versus Chelsea, Arsenal versus Manchester United, Aston Villa versus Brentford, Fulham versus Brighton, and Bournemouth versus Tottenham. At the end of last week, Chelsea were just 1 point ahead of Villa and Liverpool, with Arsenal and Brighton further points behind. Top 6 separated by just 3 points there. Bottom of the table, Bournemouth have won 2 games in a row. We're finally closing the gap on the non-relegation zone, should we call it. West Ham and Ipswich down there with them, while Southampton and Palace were just outside, while 9 marble team Newcastle still struggling at the wrong end of the table. Let's crack on with Game Week 14. Match 1 of Game Week 14 sees Ipswich Town at home to Crystal Palace. A big relegation match, this one at the moment. Ipswich Town, second bottom, 10 points from their first 13 games. Crystal Palace, 12 points and 2 places outside the relegation zone after their 13 games. Both teams needing a win here. Palace win will get them currently 4 points clear of the relegation zone, while an Ipswich win would get them out of the relegation zone and above Palace, at least for the time being. With this being the first game of Game Week 14, a win here for Ipswich could see Palace into the bottom 3 by the end of this game week. We will see though here after this game. It all depends how this game goes, but this one could be massive by the end of the season. But Palace storming the course here. Can they get an early goal? They can't just yet. Who will get the opening goal in what is a key game in a relegation battle? Ipswich's form has been truly atrocious this season. 2 games against really good teams, ironically, as well, Liverpool and Man United. Otherwise, awful all round. Palace have got the opening goal. Can Ipswich get another late goal like they've been doing equaliser-wise? It's 2-0 Palace. It's probably game over now, but is it? Let's just wait and see. It is going to be 3-0 Palace, I think. Will VAR check that one? VAR confirms this one did not cross the line, therefore this one finishes Ipswich Town 0, Crystal Palace 2. Match 2 of Game Week 14 sees Leicester City at home to West Ham. Leicester doing pretty well for a newly promoted team here. 15 points from their opening 13 games. West Ham currently in the last relegation spot. 11 points from their 13 games. On better form recently, a win here would get them up out of the relegation zone, at least temporarily. And they could really do with that happening. They've had an awful start to the season, to be fair. They should not get relegated this year, but they have not had a great start, and it could happen. But we'll see. Leicester, if they win this game, would go a mighty 7 points clear of the relegation zone at this point, although there are quite a few teams below them still to play. They've bounced straight through that obstacle there. They're storming down this part of the course. But will they get down quick enough to get themselves an early goal? Oh, second Leicester marble steals in past the West Ham one there as well. An early goal here could cause some issues because there's only one other West Ham marble down here. Can they make a good run to the bottom? They can't, and the other West Ham marble is now there with them. Who is going to cross the line first here, get the opening goal, and then the pressure builds on the opposition? Who will it be? Leicester are there. There's 10 seconds for West Ham. They've got a couple of marbles coming through, but it's 2-0 Leicester. West Ham need a miracle here now. Have they got time? They haven't. It's going to end up finishing 3-0 Leicester. Awful result for West Ham here. This one finishes Leicester City 3, West Ham 0. Match 3 of Game Week 14 sees Everton at home to Wolves. Everton started the season on fire. They have only got 1 point from their last 4 games, so 3 defeats and a draw in the last game for them. While Wolves haven't won in the last 2, but they're sitting pretty, well, both teams are sitting in the top half at the moment. But Everton's recent form will be a bit of a concern to them, although they are still well clear of the relegation zone, and they are leading the way down this course in this third match of Game Week 14. Can they turn the tide of their recent form and steal themselves a victory here that would get them back up temporarily, at least into the top 5? Or will Wolves snatch one? These guys aren't going to get across the line. Wolves have got a chance now, and these are also just dying a death at the bottom half of the course. Who's going to get the first goal? This Wolves marble's got some momentum. He's got across the line. Wolves take the lead here. Will there be an equaliser for Everton? Not yet, there won't be. Is there time? They're running out of time. They're going to have limited options here. Will any bounce across? No! I don't think it made it. I think that was Everton 0, Wolves 1, but we will VAR check that one to be sure. VAR can confirm that one did not cross the line, therefore this one finishes Everton 0, Wolves 1. Match 4 of Game Week 14 is Manchester City versus Nottingham Forest. A weird one here. 11 marble, Manchester City, top tier team, have only won 2 games in their last 9. Forest, however, one of the in the lowest tier, are unbeaten in 6 games here. Man City are currently sitting just at the top, or it's in the middle of the table, just below the middle of the table right now, which is atrocious, to be quite honest. Liverpool and Arsenal, the other two 11 marble teams, currently in 3rd and 4th prior to their games this week. Man City dominating this course right now. They need a comfortable victory here. They need to start pushing towards that top 5 ASAP. A win here would get them within 4 points of the top 5. However, most of the top 5 have not yet played, so they are still so far off the pace, much like real life Man City. I thought this tournament was going to be kind of misleading in terms of the real life Premier League. Let's be honest, real life Man City not going too well for them either right now. But where on earth are the Forest Marbles? Where are they? They are nowhere to be seen here at all. There's one coming through now, finally. And this one is going to finish 3-0 Man City by the look of it. It is indeed. This one finishes Manchester City 3, Nottingham Forest 0. Match 5 of Game Week 14 sees Newcastle United at home to Liverpool. Newcastle United underperforming horrifically this season, just 2 places outside the relegation zone and 3 points, awful for them so far this season. Liverpool doing as expected, currently 1 point off the top, and at least temporarily could go top with a win here, albeit pretty much all the teams around them have no one in the top 6 has currently played yet, so it may be temporary, but they could go top at least briefly here, and they are storming this course. Newcastle again nowhere to be seen. Newcastle at risk this week of dropping, actually they can't drop any lower because their goal difference is alright, but they I don't know what's going on with them. How are they 3 points off the bottom of 9 marbles? I don't know what's happening to their season, but you would assume against 11 marble Liverpool, they're going to struggle. For whatever reason, they are just not getting the results despite having the second most marbles tier-wise of a lot of the teams. They have more marbles than more than half the teams, and they are already 2-0 down here. It's 2-1. Can they rescue a point here? They might rescue a point here. Can Liverpool? Oh no, Liverpool have scored right at the end. Disaster for Newcastle. This one finishes Newcastle 2, Liverpool 3. Match 6 of Game Week 14 sees Southampton against Chelsea. Southampton currently 1 place outside the bottom 4. A surprise victory here would get them 4 points clear of the bottom 3. While Chelsea with a win could go back to the top, 1 point ahead of current new leaders at least, Liverpool. Obviously Liverpool have played 1 extra game this week as they've already played their game for week 14. Can Chelsea keep this decent form of the season going and squeeze through this one again? They'll put them on 29 points from 14 games or so, more than 2 points a game. Good way to go out winning a league if you can keep that kind of form up. There's one Southampton marble trying to cause some issues, but it's a 2v1 battle right now. And there's also another Chelsea marble trying to catch up there. This Southampton marble is going to have to cross the line at its first attempt, I think, to give them any chance. Will it do so? We shall see. Chelsea not quite through yet though, but they've got the advantage in numbers down here. That Southampton marble has got to cross the line. Chelsea are in. Southampton have got to make this. Oh, they've done it. They've got an equaliser. Will Chelsea be able to get a winner? Is there time for Chelsea? There might be. They're going to blow it. No, surprise draw here. Chelsea drop points. This one finishes Southampton 1, Chelsea 1. Match 7 of Game Week 14 sees Arsenal at home to Manchester United. Arsenal with a winner could get within a point of top spot, which would mean that Liverpool, Chelsea and Arsenal together would be all separated by just 1 point at the end of Game Week 14, which would be truly epic coming towards the halfway point. Not quite, but getting close to the halfway point of the season. Anyway, Arsenal leading the way here. Man United struggling in the bottom half of the table just about at the moment. A win here would get them level on points again with Manchester City. Both teams not where they should be in the league at all this year. Man City especially. But Arsenal are just flooding down the course. If they can just get any of these marbles out of this bottom part of obstacle 3, they have now. If any of these cross, we know how horrible this last obstacle is for the tier 1 home course. And Arsenal are across the line already. This is not good news at all for Man United. They've got marbles coming. Both these marbles are going to have to cross the line. There's time just about. That one's not going to cross the line. This is curtains for Man United. This one finishes Arsenal 2, Manchester United 0. Match 8 of Game Week 14 sees Aston Villa at home to Brentford. Aston Villa 4th right now. They can go top with a win again, or will join top with Liverpool. They would be top on goal difference with a victory here. Brentford doing very well as well. Brentford currently 9th. They could go, if they won this heavily, into the top 5 with a win. Probably going to go 6th though at present, although there are some teams of them have not yet played yet in terms of Brighton and Fulham. But Brentford having a very good season so far. Nearly got through the obstacle there, but it got clipped just at the end. Villa marbles doing alright so far, getting through this quite decently so far. One has escaped into the second last obstacle now, and I think that's a second Villa ball following it down. Can Villa get this one through and get themselves back to the top of the league, albeit just on goal difference? It looks like a good run. They do sometimes have good runs on the bottom part of this course. Oh, so close there to the green. This time, no, they've hit it this time. There we go, they're home. And can Brentford get an equaliser? Oh, they need 2 now. Villa are getting away here. That marble's got stuck. There's 1 for Brentford. Is there time for an equaliser? No, there isn't. This one finishes Aston Villa 2, Brentford 1, and Villa go top on goal difference. Match 9 of Game Week 14 and 1. It doesn't seem a big game. It isn't the Marble Premier League. Marble Race Premier League, I should say. This is 5th versus 6th, with Brighton having the chance to go just 1 point behind the leaders, and Fulham the chance to go just 2 points behind the leaders here with a win. So a big game for both here. Both are doing very, very well for 7 marble teams this year, both punching above their weight, and 2 of these marbles, 1 from each team here, have escaped the rest at the moment. We know the bottom part of this course is very tricky. If either of these guys get across quickly, there's massive pressure on the team, because the rest of the marbles are nowhere to be seen. This Fulham marble's got he's lost the momentum entirely. Brighton one's looking a bit better, not quite. And now who will storm in this course and get their opening goal? It will be Brighton or Fulham. They're all struggling. Oh, Fulham snuck through. What? I thought that one had missed. Suddenly it's gone through. Fulham with the early goal. There are no Brighton marbles coming. Brighton have got very little time to get one back here. They're not going to. And this one finishes Fulham 1, Brighton 0. Match 10 of Game Week 14 sees Bournemouth against Spurs. Bournemouth, bottom of the table. However, they've won their last 2 games and have clawed their way back. A win here could get them off the bottom of the table at Ipswich's expense. Spurs down in about 13th right now. Only won 2 of their last, I think it's 7 games. They desperately need a win here, which would get them about mid-table. But they are so far off the pace for a 9-marble team here. Not great for them. But can they get a victory, a much needed victory here, or can Bournemouth make it 3 in a row and be off the bottom of the table for the first time in a long while as well? There's 2 Bournemouth marbles coming down here below the Spurs one. If the Spurs one does not make it, which is not going to, these Bournemouth marbles have got no momentum either, to be fair. This is not good. Right, this one's going to be a lucky dip now. This one's got a bit of momentum. Now, can it squeeze across the line? It can! Are Spurs going to balls it up again? They might do. It's 2-0 Bournemouth. Can Bournemouth go 3 wins in a row, guys? It's 3-0 Bournemouth. They're destroying people now. That one crosses the line as well. This one finishes Bournemouth 3, Spurs 1, Bournemouth off the bottom of the table, and yet again Spurs screw it all up. So at the end of Game Week 14, it's Villa who are back on top on goal difference alone ahead of Liverpool, with Chelsea and Arsenal just 1 further point behind. Fulham just a further point behind them as well on 26 points in 5th, while at the bottom, 3 wins in a row for Bournemouth sees them off the bottom of the league, replaced by Ipswich. West Ham are getting battered again today by Leicester, not a good result for them, sees them stay in the bottom 3, while Newcastle again losing, still only 3 points off the bottom 3 themselves. Thank you for watching this one, guys. If you enjoyed this one, please make sure you smash subscribe, hit like, and I hope to see you back here for Game Week 15 at this coming weekend. Cheers all, bye!